Hey, what's going on, guys? And today we're going to be talking about 11 marketing tips for lawyers. And typically my videos have been extremely long, so I'm going to try my best to make this video as short as possible. Yeah, 10 minutes. So I'm going to try to see if we can do this in like 5 or 6. I don't think we're going to make it, but let's try just in case. So okay, intro.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Okay, guys, welcome back and jumping right into it for the sake of time. We are covering the 11 marketing tips that I have for lawyers. Okay, so number 1, make sure your website is professional. What do I mean by that? I mean your God space. So God space is essentially when you log in on a laptop or a cell phone, it's the space that your cell phone can see and the space that your laptop can see. To piggyback off of that, make sure your website is optimized for mobile and optimized for desktop. You can set up each layout via mobile or desktop, but make sure there are some very key components that you guys have in your God space that you must have. Number 1 would be the phone number to your practice. Number 2 would be a link to all your social media links. Number 3 would be H1, H2 tags, which is basically the verbiage that's going to be on your landing page when people land on your website that says, for example, Sanders Law. That's H1. H2 would be servicing all pet owners or something like that. That's your H2. So H1 and H2, make sure your website has an H1, H2 that clearly defines who you are. Also making sure you guys have high quality video in that header. The way that modern technology has gone today, like you can shoot a 1080p 4K video on your iPhone, you don't have an excuse not to have some type of video in your God space. So make sure you do that because that video shows people who you are and how you differentiate yourself from the market, right? So those are a couple of tips that for number 1, make sure that you have a professional website. So number 2 is make sure you guys are really meticulous about selecting your search terms. What's a search term? So for example, every time someone types something into Google, that's what we call a search query. So a search query is basically somebody researching something inside of search. Okay, so essentially Google is a search engine. And what that means is every time someone types something in, that's what Google calls a search query. So basically make sure you're picking your search terms. You can use stuff like Google Trends that'll actually help you to go online to look up what people are actually searching today. Because what people are searching today, this month is probably not what they're going to be searching next month in the case of volume. Yes, people will be searching it, but what's the whole point of you targeting search queries where there is no traffic? For example, you're searching one search term that may only have 300 searches typed into Google a month, as opposed to something that has 1.5 million searches a month. So you really need to look at, even though we have high competition, which one is best for me to go after? And is it best for me to go after what's called long tail keywords? So you have to really pick your search queries and know what kind of content you want to be creating. So you can use Google Trends and basically get ideas for different videos, blog articles, and things you guys want to post. And essentially, being a lawyer, it's easy. Like if you're doing personal injury, you can go online, you can research and look up all these different terms that are relevant to your actual niche. You can create content and videos specifically for those niches and get it right back onto your website, back on YouTube, Instagram, wherever. Create all this content that has, a large volume of search coming to that actual topic. So that's number 2. Be specific about your search queries and your search terms. Okay, number 3, make sure you guys are running email automation campaigns. There's so many different tools you guys can use out there, MailChimp, and the list goes on and on and on. But the most key important thing is make sure you guys are running email automation to this audience. You can hire an intern, a blogger to write a crap ton of emails, and you can basically use these different mechanisms to put in automatic email automation to get the message in front of your customers. So you want to make sure you're staying front of mind to all your customers. So that's number 3, run email automation. So number 4, make sure you guys are actually building your email list. And of course, this goes hand in hand with the last one, which is run automation. Maybe this one should have been first, but follow me, okay? So you guys want to make sure that you're actually running email automation to your list. So essentially, you got to build the list first. So what are some ways we can actually build our list? We can build our list by reaching out to customers. Anytime they call us, have your receptionist, whoever's answering the phone, the first thing she gets from them is their email and puts it into your system so you guys can target them later with your email automation. Another cool thing is you can add an opt-in on your website page, basically in exchange something to get their email. I'll give you an example. If you guys don't charge right now for a consultation, start charging for a consultation. 200, 300, whatever. Start charging for consultations. And then you can create what's called an opt-in inside of your God space. Remember, we talked about that for number one. Make sure your website's professional and make sure you have all the important information inside your God space where the person doesn't have to scroll what's called below the fold, and that's leaving the God space. They don't have to scroll below the fold to find anything. All the important stuff is in the God space. They don't have to scroll anywhere. It's right there in their face. Make sure off to the side you have an opt-in. An opt-in is basically saying, I'm going to give you something for you to give me your email. So for example, you start charging for consultations, and your opt-in, you would say, download your coupon for your free consultation here. And under that, you can put save $250. And then the green button, instead of saying download or click here, it can say, yes, give me my free consultation, or yes, I want to save $250. So what's going to happen is people are going to start opting into that and downloading their coupon. You can even put in the notes where they don't have to use it right away. You can also say to them, this expires in 3 months, to also put some sense of urgency in them actually calling you for a consultation. Or you can play and say, you know what, I'm not going to give them a deadline. They can have it and use it whenever they want to use it. So it's really up to you. But the great thing is you're going to be able to capture a lot of emails and to use them for your advantage. Now, a lot of people are probably saying, well, I don't have a practice as a lawyer where I can charge people for consultations because I'm doing something like personal injury. And it's an industry standard for personal injury attorneys not to really charge people for consultations. Well, you can do something very similar and say, hey, here's a $250 credit. If I win your case, download this coupon and get an extra $250 that I'm going to pay you in exchange for your email. Or you don't even have to say in exchange for your email. You could take that verbiage out and just say, download a coupon for $250 if I win your case. I'll pay you just for winning your case. Download this coupon right here. Absolutely priceless. And the wonderful thing is that email, I guarantee you, is going to be way more valuable to you than $250. And if you don't want to pay $250, you can do something as low as $50. But I guarantee you, that $50 is going to be worth its weight in gold, because essentially you're not necessarily coming out of your pocket. You're just taking some money off the top of a case you've won for them and then giving it back to them as a credit just for their email. Okay, so number 5 would be start running ads and then retarget the people that you run ads to. So I can go on for days about this, and this really should be a whole separate video. So I'm not going to dive super deep into it. I'm going to also be recording some videos for you guys to show you guys how to run ads on your own. Essentially, I can show you and teach you guys the way that we run ads for our clients, and we build out ads and show you how to, select a budget. Those videos will come much later, so I won't dig too deep into that section of this video. But what I will say is make sure you guys are running ads. Once you run ads, make sure you're retargeting your audience that you're actually getting that message in front of. All the content you created before, when you're doing the research for the search queries and creating content based on the information you've got from Google Trends and other popular websites, you can actually take that content, you can chop some of those pieces of content up and use them as ads and run them to get traffic into your website through paid search, display, in-stream, or suggested YouTube video advertising. So yeah, so this key point is advertise and retarget, and moving along to the next one. Okay, so number 6, moving along, is going to be make sure you guys are recording informative videos, right? So of course, as an attorney, law is your native language, but for the average everyday layman like myself, we don't know jack crap about the law. So you have an endless, limitless possibility with creating content and informative videos where you can teach people about what to do after a car accident. If they're in a personal injury case, you can tell them information like make sure within the first 24 hours, you guys are going to the doctor, you guys are staying up to your appointments, you're not missing any appointments, you're getting the treatment you need, you're taking your medication, all these different things. And even if, for example, you're doing business law, right? You can take, the top asked questions about trademarks, the top asked questions about, business contracts. There's so much content you guys can create, and especially generalized around law, because there's so many things people just don't know about law, and you guys can really become a guru in your space by recording informative videos and taking these videos and putting them online. Okay, so number 7 would be to address your reputation online. All right, so as an attorney, the most important thing to understand is when it comes to your buyer's funnel, that's different from someone that sells burgers at a restaurant or someone that washes cars. You're gonna be a little bit different because people are gonna really research you a little bit more than they would research out of these other businesses. Why? Because your price point's higher. Someone's gonna pay you $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And even if you lose their case, there's no guarantee they get a refund. Matter of fact, they're not getting a refund. So for these people, they want to know that when they're actually investing this kind of money in an attorney, that they're not going to have any issues. So the main place that I've seen that people go when it comes to attorneys is when they're trying to prove the attorney, they're going to go for reviews. And that's why we covered that earlier when I said you have to build your list. So another tidbit that you got to do after you have that list and you're sending email automation, like we talked about earlier as well, you can take and send emails and ask them to give you a review. What's going to happen? That's essentially going to boost your ranking inside of Google, and that's going to get more potential customers that come to you. That's going to put them in a position where they feel comfortable and confident with hiring you as an attorney for the simple fact that the market has basically vouched for you. Because the best narrative online when we're talking about quality of service is when it doesn't come from you, when it comes from somebody you've serviced. Okay, and so number 8. So number 8 would be make sure you guys are claiming your Google My Business listing. So for example, what happens is you guys go to Google, you can go to Google My Business and then you can claim your address. What happens is they're going to send you a postcard. Once they send you a postcard, the postcard will have a pin on it. Once you get that pin, you can take that pin, put it inside of Google My Business on your end to confirm your address. Once that happens, your listing is going to show up inside of Google Maps. Very essential, because when someone goes into Google and their search query is lawyers near me, essentially what happens is Google is looking for all the addresses around this person. So they use GEO fencing based on the search query. And if your business is not actually listed when somebody's making that search query in their area, then you're missing out. You're leaving so much money on the table. So make sure you guys are claiming your Google address so that when that happens, you have that ability to get in front of the customer. Now, earlier we talked about making sure you guys are building your tribe and email automation. The other thing you guys can do, like we spoke about before, is to ask these people in your email list for reviews. And once you get these reviews from the people inside your tribe or your email, what's going to happen is it's going to boost your listing. Once it boosts your listing, you're going to go all the way to the top. Essentially, because when it comes to Google Maps, what Google Maps does is it heavily leverages reviews, but also a little bit of SEO as well. But what I've noticed is from Google My Business, when you're looking at maps, the more great reviews you have, the better. And you can try it yourself. Go to Google, type in any type of service you're looking for, and then type near me. And notice all the listings that come up number 1, number 2, number 3 are the listings that have the most reviews. So that's essential. You want to make sure you're getting a lot of reviews, and that's going to help you to boost your ranking. Okay, so number 9 would be to record video testimonials and then put them online. That number is pretty much self-explanatory, because the best recommendation that you can have online, or the best marketing piece and marketing tool you can have online, is a narrative that's not pushed by you. So when you have a narrative that's not pushed by you, it's just a genuine, happy customer, that's going to give you so much leverage in the market, and it's going to make it so easy for you to close clients when someone else is speaking on your behalf. So make sure you guys take that and really leverage that. Okay, and so number 10, I would say segment your audience. That's going to make it so much easier for you guys to see where your campaigns are profitable, where you're losing money, where you're strong and where you're weak, and where you need to improve. And the best way to do that is to actually segment your audience and see what's valuable, what's helping you, and what's not. So for example, let's just say I'm an attorney doing business law. I'm going to segment all my content that is going specifically for people that are interested in trademarks. Then I'm going to specifically segment an audience of people that are specifically interested in business contracts, so on and so forth. And that's basically the way you should do it. And then so you have a list of every single week what kind of content you're creating to get in front of the people that are interested in trademark only, what kind of content is going to be directed and created for the people that are only interested in contracts. You create separate landing pages for all these different product niches. And once you do that, it's a lot easier for you to track what's successful, what's profitable, what's not. Like we said earlier, running ads, you'll know, okay, I'm spending too much money to get conversions with this specific section or segment. So it's much easier to fix where you may have some issues and to tweak certain areas when you have everything broken down to a science and you're not just doing this big, broad marketing technique. And even if you're just doing organic stuff, it works the same way with organic. You can look at all your organic campaigns and say, okay, well, which one is not really profitable? Which one has turned over, 4, 5, 6, 7 leads? Which one hasn't turned over any leads? Let's go and address this and see what the problem is. And it's much easier when you guys are segmenting your audience. Okay, so number 11 would be to get into a routine. So you guys want to make sure that you're posting all the time, right? So again, like the general norm is you're gonna be posting 4 times a day. You need to figure out what times a day is best for you to post, when is your audience engaged online, and then to get these posts in front of them as often as possible. Another caveat to this one would be to make sure you guys are organized. Make sure you guys organize and come up with a concise plan that you want to implement every single week with all of your videos. It's very crucial, guys. You don't want to break that cadence, and you don't want to get away from posting as much as possible and staying in front of your actual audience. So again, that's number 11. I want you guys to make sure that you actually take and execute all these different things I've taught you, because it doesn't really matter if you guys aren't executing, because these are great tips. Like, they sound good, but if you're not implementing these tips, they're not going to help you. So again, I'll reinforce that with number 11, execute, execute, execute. That's your homework, guys. Go out there, do it, and try it out for yourself. And whatever questions you guys may have about any of the things I covered, make sure you leave me a question in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to address any questions you guys may have. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate any feedback you guys have for me. Any video content you guys want me to cover, I'll be more than happy to cover that for you. Again, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video, and I look forward to hearing and seeing from all you lovely attorneys. So yeah, that's a wrap for me tonight.